Hello friends and welcome back to Quiz Gentry. Let's brain tease a little bit with RMS Carpathia, the legendary Titanic rescue ship with 25 questions in 7 seconds each to answer them, but before then, please consider subscribing to the channel for more maritime quizzes as we get started. Okay, question 1 says, who commanded Carpathia during Titanic rescue? Was it Turner, Smith, or Rostron? Answer is Rostron. Captain Arthur Rostron led the Carpathia during the rescue of Titanic survivors, guiding the ship through icy waters. His prompt decisions and leadership were credited with saving hundreds of lives. 2. What year was Carpathia launched? We have 1902, 1900, or 1910. (1902). The RMS Carpathia was launched in 1902 and was in service for the Cunard Line before the Titanic disaster. It remained active in transatlantic service until its sinking in 1918. Where was Carpathia built? Southampton, Newcastle, or Wallsend? Wallsend is correct. Carpathia was constructed at the Swanhunter Shipyard in Wallsend, England, a notable shipbuilding location. The shipyard was one of the most prominent builders of British liners at the time. 4. What ocean did Carpathia cross to rescue Titanic? Was it the Pacific, Atlantic, or Indian? Atlantic it was. Carpathia was traveling across the Atlantic Ocean when it was diverted to rescue Titanic survivors in 1912. The ship was on a westbound transatlantic voyage from New York to Europe at the time. 5. How many lifeboats did Carpathia rescue from Titanic? 19, 20, or 13? Carpathia rescued survivors from 20 lifeboats, each filled with Titanic passengers after the ship's sinking. The lifeboats were launched as the Titanic was sinking, saving many passengers from freezing waters. Carpathia belonged to which shipping company? Options are Cunard, White Star, or Red Funnel. Yes, it's Cunard. The RMS Carpathia was operated by the Cunard Line, which was in competition with Titanic's White Star Line. Cunard was known for its fast and reliable transatlantic services at the time. 7. What was the tonnage of Carpathia? 8,500, 13,600, or 10,900? 13,600. Carpathia had a gross tonnage of 13,600 tons, making it relatively small compared to the Titanic. Despite its smaller size, it was capable of carrying over 2,500 passengers and crew. When did Carpathia receive the Titanic distress call? April 14th, April 12th, or April 16th? April 14th. On April 14, 1912, Carpathia's radio operators picked up Titanic's distress signal, sparking the rescue operation. The crew immediately altered the ship's course and increased its speed to assist in the rescue. What sank the Carpathia in 1918? Iceberg, submarine, or collision? Submarine. Carpathia was sunk by a German U-boat submarine during World War I, years after rescuing Titanic survivors. It was hit while part of a convoy and sank in the Celtic Sea after being struck by multiple torpedoes. Question 10. How far was Carpathia from Titanic during the distress call? You have 58 miles, 100 miles and 70 miles as the options. 58 miles. At the time of Titanic's distress call, Carpathia was about 58 miles away and rushed to the scene at full speed. It took Carpathia 4 hours to reach the sinking site due to the icy conditions and darkness. 11. How long did it take Carpathia to reach Titanic? 4 hours, 2 hours, or 6 hours? Four hours. After receiving the distress signal, Carpathia took approximately 4 hours to reach the Titanic's location. The ship navigated treacherous ice fields to reach the survivors just before dawn. 12. What type of ship was Carpathia? Cargo, liner, or cruiser? Liner. Carpathia was a passenger liner primarily used for transatlantic crossings, similar to Titanic but smaller. It was designed to carry passengers and mail between Europe and North America. Who received the distress call aboard Carpathia? Bride, Cottam, or Phillips? Cottam. Harold Cottam was Carpathia's wireless operator who received the Titanic's distress message and alerted the crew. His timely response played a crucial role in enabling Carpathia to arrive at the disaster site as quickly as possible. Where was Carpathia heading before rescuing Titanic survivors? Liverpool, New York, or Boston? New York. Carpathia was en route from New York to Fiume, now Rijeka, when it turned back to rescue Titanic's passengers. It had just completed its westbound journey and was on its return eastward across the Atlantic. How many Titanic survivors did Carpathia rescue? Please give this video a like. Thank you. 705 is correct. Carpathia rescued 705 survivors from the Titanic disaster and brought them safely to New York. Most of the survivors were women and children, as the majority of male passengers were lost in the sinking. What was Carpathia's maximum speed during the rescue? 17 knots, 14 knots, or 20 knots? "17 knots. Carpathia's crew pushed the ship to a maximum speed of 17 knots, faster than its usual cruising speed, to reach Titanic. The ship's boilers were overworked, and every effort was made to hasten the journey to the disaster site. What year was Carpathia sunk? 1919, 1917, or 1918? (1918). Carpathia was torpedoed and sunk by a German U-boat on July 17, 1918, during World War I. Although the ship was lost, most of the crew survived the sinking, with only 5 lives lost. How many passengers was Carpathia carrying during Titanic rescue? You have 742, 701, and 600 to choose from. Yes, 742. At the time of Titanic's sinking, Carpathia was carrying 742 passengers and altered its course to assist. These passengers were mostly immigrants and third-class passengers bound for Europe. 19. In which sea was Carpathia sunk? Mediterranean, Baltic, or Celtic? Celtic it was. Carpathia was sunk in the Celtic Sea, off the coast of Ireland, by a German U-boat during World War I. The ship sank quickly after being struck by multiple torpedoes, and it lies in the deep waters of the Celtic Sea. What class of passengers did Carpathia mostly carry? Third, first, or second? Please consider subscribing. Thank you. Third. Carpathia was known for carrying mostly third-class passengers, particularly on transatlantic crossings. Many of the passengers were immigrants traveling between Europe and the United States. What was Carpathia's home port? Liverpool, Glasgow, or Southampton? Do not forget to comment your score. Liverpool. Carpathia was registered in Liverpool, which was the home port for many British and Cunard Line ships. Liverpool was a major hub for transatlantic voyages during this era, with many liners using it as their primary port. What was the nationality of Carpathia? British, American, or German? British. Carpathia was a British passenger liner operated by the Cunard Line, a major British shipping company. The ship flew the British flag and adhered to British maritime regulations. How many torpedoes hit Carpathia when it sank? 3, 2, or 4? 3. Carpathia was hit by 3 torpedoes from a German U-boat, causing it to sink during World War I. The ship's crew attempted to abandon ship after the first strike, but the third torpedo ensured its demise. 24. How many crew members were aboard Carpathia during Titanic's rescue? 300, 250, or 200? 300. Approximately 300 crew members were aboard Carpathia during the rescue of Titanic survivors. Crew worked tirelessly to care for the survivors, providing them with blankets, food, and medical attention. The last question says who gave Carpathia passengers blankets after the rescue? Red Cross, crew, or passengers? Crew. The Carpathia crew gave blankets, hot drinks, and food to the Titanic survivors once they were safely aboard. Their compassionate care helped the traumatized survivors recover from their ordeal during the long journey to New York. Thank you for watching, friends. See you in the next quiz. Bye-bye.